guys, well I want to introduce you to a new light. It's the WK21, better known as the Meteor. The company's called Xtar, I believe that's how it's pronounced. It is out of Hong Kong, and they do some very innovative lights. I've been looking at a couple of their chargers for a while, and very high quality stuff. They actually have an entire line of diving lights rated to 100 meters, 200 meters. Obviously the switch is a little bit different. They're a magnetic switch, etc. But if a company has the tolerance and the capabilities of manufacturing a dive light capable of withstanding dive pressures, you know that the quality is up to snuff. And that was kind of what I've been testing out the last week or so with this little guy, and I'm just going to call it the Meteor. I'm going to leave links down below for those of you that are familiar with the Candle Power forums, the marketplace. You can find these guys there. I'll leave a link there. I'll leave a link to the Xtar website, and let me know if you have any questions or are having a hard time finding it. I do believe they have an eBay storefront, so if you just search for that. But buyer beware, we'll get into a little bit of that later. Now, as far as an EDC, something that I've always said a person should have is an EDC light. There's many things, from just finding keys, looking all sorts of, I won't go over all the uses, but it's something that you should be using every day. Because of that, it's very difficult to find a platform with a battery in it that you will able to recharge and use without costing you a fortune. It's one reason that my last EDC light you guys saw, which is kind of a direct comparison, here's the Spark, which is the AA format, also takes the lithium ion 14500, and the old standby previous to that was the Phoenix PD20. Now, one of the reasons I had gone away from that, I'll put it in size view, was simply just for the cost of the CR123s. And this one will not take the rechargeables. The rechargeables will have a higher voltage and usually are a little bit different size. So it's nice, as I mentioned with the Spark review, to find something that has the lithium ion batteries. These guys have, there's been other EDC lights that have come and gone. The PD20 and the Spark SL5 sort of passed my test and have been my go standbys, and a few other ones I will compare in this review with some of the photos. Not necessarily an EDC light, as the Spark SD51 with the cool white, and then you're also going to see the Eagle Tack, because this is very similar to the Phoenix 2AA format that a lot of people carry in their EDC bags or EDCs. A lot of people don't carry their lights in their pockets, and so for that reason I've included that into some of the photo comparisons that I will do at night. Because this camera's ability to do low light, that's going to be photographs that I will insert later. Now, this light is extremely simple. One of the things that keeps its strength and waterproofness, and it is IPX7, so it's a half a meter underwater, and it's simply because the bottom is sealed and it only has one O-ring to worry about for the top head portion that comes off. In here you'll see I'm running the Xtar, the 16340s, which is essentially the higher voltage version of a CR123. Give you a look in there. One thing you'll see, as you'll notice on here, is this bright orange is a long time ago I did a video with the extreme tape. And with my EDC lights, something I mentioned in the Eagle Tack review with this rubber tail cap, is the majority of the time when I'm using an EDC light, it's in some sort of hands-free fashion, and so it's easier for me to have both hands to carry items from the car to the car, from the car, under the car, you name it. An EDC light has to fill all those roles, and so majority of the time at night I'm putting this small light in my mouth. So because of that, I've basically protected my teeth with a little bit of silicone tape around there. Something I've always kind of done in the past to a lot of my other lights, because that's how personally I use this. There is a strong magnet that is located in the tail, and I will insert some photos doing that. Personally, I wish it was a little bit larger or a little bit stronger. I did find that on very smooth surfaces, that were magnetic, it wanted to slide down if it was a straight vertical hold, but it does a good job sticking to a lot of things to give you that hands-free option. There are two little dimples in here that will allow you to unscrew that and remove that if that is an issue. You will notice that it does come with a regular pocket clip, which I choose not to use. It's one of those just snap-on half clips, and I just don't find them very useful. It does come with a little clam hook. You'll see that it is magnetic. This is strong enough to hold the light perfectly fine. The little lanyard hole on here is small enough for a little split ring that attaches to this. Now the catch-22 with that is, because it's such a small hole, that means the split ring is very lightweight, and I did have mine pull off when I pulled this out, and it caught on my jean pocket and it ripped apart the split ring, excuse me. It wasn't that I ever had it fall off or get yanked. It was just that one time when I pulled it, and I didn't replace the split ring after that. The clasp is very strong itself. It's just the weak point is that split ring. So if you have a stronger version of the split ring, that would work just fine. But very versatile, and as you can see, it's a little bit bigger around than the PD20, but not by much, but it's clearly smaller. And according to, compared to the AA version of the Spark, it's still the smallest of the three, even though it's a little bit bigger around than the PD20. You'll also know it's running an XML. So is this. This is running the old RP5, I believe. Give you a look there. It is a very smooth reflector. There's not much orange peel. You will see from the photographs that the PD20 has always been kind of a hotspot thrower, simply because the LED dye and the way this is such a deep reflector in here. The XML and the Spark with the orange peel is very floody and does not throw very far. What I found here with the Meteor is it's a very nice complement of both. And there have been a lot of folks that have looked for small keychain type lights. Now I think it's a little bit big for a keychain light, simply because I don't like a lot of things on my keychains. But the size and the power of this thing is really undeniable. The operation is very simple. I'm going to insert a photo right now. And that photo is just to give you a better look of the head in here. The head has those 8 contacts you saw in the photo, and you have to be, pretty crafty, but you can go in and customize this however you want. The high, low, medium, strobe, and SOS to function. You can have just the highs, just the lows. You can basically rearrange it, customize this however you want. That is extremely rare nowadays, to have the interface of the light be something that you enjoy. There's many times where the light is really good, but maybe you don't like the way it functions. If you're running the Spark without the lithium on here, without the memory, so it doesn't come on turbo when you want it, that can be sort of a hassle if you're used to a self-defense where you always want it on high right off the bat. Similar to the PD20 with the head twist, I can go right into turbo and double tap and immediately get in the strobe. That's nice. With a quick twist of the head, now I'm down into low, medium, and high. I like that interface. It's rare to come across a light that allows you to customize it however you want. And with a little bit of soldering, you can do that with those 8 contacts. Now, as you saw, the operation of this is just a twist. It will hold its memory. You have to have the light on for a short while. If you do it quicker, you can see there's low, on, off, there's medium, there's high, and then you go into the SOS mode, and then you'll go into strobe. It is a little bit stiff compared to some of the smaller AAA lights that I'm used to, similar to the county comms, but it's got enough knurling and enough grip that you're able to do it one-handed. It's not a two-handed thing that you have to stop and turn it off. So it's definitely a one-handed operation to get the light functioning, and I've really enjoyed it. Right now what I think I'll do is I'm going to roll in a quick video of the photographs of these 5 lights in a comparison. So that kind of gives you an idea, just a little bit of sort of insight of some of the EDC lights that I've carried over the years. I really enjoy the Xtar for its blend of flood and spot. You saw some of the 120 feet photos that this thing really puts out distance, but it opens it up with that XML. It lights up a large area, where if you compare that to the hot spot of the PD20, if you go back and look at it, it's a very narrow focus. It doesn't light up anything around me. There's a little bit of residual light, but nothing like the XML. And even the spark doesn't tend to throw super far. I could have went a little bit farther with the photographs, but I think you kind of get the idea with the comparison. It is a slightly cool tint on that XML in there, and the only reason kind of with the operation that I kind of want to tell you about is I did notice if you just turn it just past where it comes on and you press the head down into the body, you can get it to come on. Now if you do that quickly, that will switch through the modes, and all I'm doing is compressing the head to make contact. So if you really kind of have to lock this out by giving it a little bit more than a quarter turn so that it doesn't make contact when you press that down. If you leave it there, it may be advantageous to have it that way, but I found that in my pocket, say I knelt down and my jean pocket compressed, I didn't worry about the light staying on, but it would switch through my modes. So I would go to turn the light on and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't in medium anymore. Maybe it was in strobe, and I was like, where'd strobe go? So you're able to take out some of the modes, like I said, with the customability of it. I hope the photographs helped quite a bit, and we will come back to this in a long-term test to see how it's going, to see whether it will rank up with some of the other lights that have made sort of my durability test and long-term. This is going to be a quick overview and introduction to the Xtar. It's a company that a lot of you probably haven't heard of unless you're into the candle forums and whatnot. But I know a lot of you ask me about a sort of EDC light that I trust, that I want. The other thing is the price point. A lot of you were turned off with the price of the spark light, and even the Phoenixes have come down in price. Of course, they were a good price point to begin with, but a lot of you don't want to spend sort of that spark money. This Xtar, in a couple places that I found it, was right around $33 to $40. That's without the charger setup, which we're going to go into next. Let's take a look at the charger, and you know, it basically does everything it needs to do without being overly big. It's a very cool size, very small, compact. It does basically the CR123 equivalent of the lithium family, which is the 16340, which is what I've been running this light off of. The light will run off of the CR123s, but you're able to get more power, more illumination out of the better cell. Because of that, you're going to need some way of recharging it. I also think as an EDC light, you should have a rechargeable system for it. It's just more cost effective, it's easier to work with, you get better performance out of it, and if it's light that you're going to be using all the time, you're not needing to store that power for years on end and grabbing the flashlight. It's something you're going to be using every day. I'll roll in a clip here. Even it being winter, with getting a shallow sun and less sun during the day, you know, solar is still effective. This tiny little charger is easy enough to pack with like my Nomad 7. You can see when I unfold that, the red light comes on. Hopefully you can see that. Let me block the sun. Red light is charging. So you can easily use it with the solar charger, especially something with USB, because this is entirely USB based. It has a standard USB cable that comes with it. Of course, there is a USB adapter into the 110. Like a lot of cell phones, very utilitarianism, just for the convenience of everything runs off of something USB now. So because of that, it takes a little bit longer to charge. I think dead flat, it was just under 3 hours with this charger. You are able to switch from 3 volts to 3.7, and usually the 3 volts, like for instance, one of the things I'm going to be using this, getting rid of the large bulky solar charger and plug-in charger, DC charger that I have for my stereo pen. It runs on 2 Tenergies that stay at 3 volts, just like a standard CR123 is only at 3 volts. But I will be able to recharge those in the field without this big bulky guy, and go to this slim profile and maintain it with the charger or any other USB. So that's one very great improvement. The other thing is I use a TLR3 weapons light. This guy uses a CR2, a little bit smaller than the CR123. Some of you may not be familiar with, but I use a rechargeable in that, and so you get these 2 little spacers that fit on the contacts, and basically will take up that room that you need for the shorter CR2. That's pretty much it. You've got the selectable 3 volt to 3.7 volts, and handles a multitude of similar cells without being overly bulky. Nice and slim profile. Green LEDs and red LEDs to let you know the charging indicators. And so far, I really like the size. I haven't had a single issue with it. Well, this has been an intro into the WK21, otherwise known as the Meteor. A handy little powerful torch that I recommend taking a look at. Thanks for watching.